All right, guys. So what I thought I would do, since she went over how to draw it on the paper, is I thought I would go ahead and show you how to do your Delta Math. There's gonna be two videos, one for each type of problem you'll see here, and I'm gonna do two of these. So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be given an equation of a tangent line, and then you're gonna be asked to do a couple things. So don't get stressed out. The first thing it's gonna ask you is for the period. Now remember from our notes, period is pi. Let me write that is pi over b. So we need to know b in order to know the period. And remember also from our notes, b, if you look at the equation for tangent, is whatever's in front of x. And what is in front of x here? 4 pi. So you would go over here and you would put pi over 4 pi, and luckily the pi's cancel out, so you're left with 1/4 as your period. It's not always the case that they cancel out like that, but sometimes it does. So here we're going to put 1 divided by 4 to get 1/4. Now next is the equation of the asymptote. And if you look at your notes, the equation for the asymptote, we're going to do this in a different color. The equation for an asymptote is multiples of pi over 2b. And that is your asymptote. Okay? So we already know what b was. B was 4 pi. So we literally just plug and chug. The pi's cancel out, so you're left with 1 over 8. That is the equation of your asymptote. And if you look here, it already gives you the x equals, because there was last homework where you guys didn't put in the y equals and it counted it wrong. Okay, so there you go. 1/8 is the equation of the asymptote there. Then you hit next. Now it says move the 3 guide points, and there's your 3 guide points, the red, blue, and the red, up or down to complete the graph. Moving the red points change the vertical stretch or compression. Moving the blue points result in a vertical shift. And click the buttons below to reflect over the x-axis or reset the points. Now when you're doing graphical transformations, you know this -3 back here means it moves down 3. And this 4 right here means we've stretched it 4. And that negative in front means we reflect over the x-axis. What you have to know, and I would write this down, just so you know, that order of operations matter when doing graphical transformations. And here's the order that you should do it. So write this down. You should reflect, you should then stretch, and then you should move up or down. Reflect, stretch, up or down. Reflect, stretch, up or down, okay? So do we need to reflect this over the x-axis? How do I get rid of my keyboard here? Do we need to reflect this over the x-axis? Well, yes, we do, because there's a negative in the front. So reflect, and then you see my graph reflected. Then we need to stretch it. We need to stretch it by 4 because that's what's in the front there. I don't know why it does that. So that means we need to stretch this by 4. So right now it's on 1, so we just need to take our red and we need to stretch it 4. See how we did that? We've taken the red and we've stretched it 4. And then we need to move it down by 3. I'm trying to get rid of that highlightedness, and it's not. Well, at least it's shorter. We need to move it down by 3 because of the -3. So then we can move it down by 3. Now we can submit our answers. We have our asymptotes at 1/8, and we have our periods where they need to be. So we're going to submit. We're going to hit yes. We're going to pray that we get that little green check mark, which we did. All right, let's try another problem and see what we get here. I have no idea what it was. I didn't pre-do this, so let's just do it together. So again, let's do the period. What number is in front of the x? 3/4. So let's go to red. And let's do our period here. Okay. Get this to red. So our period is, and our b is 3/4. Now I need to solve that. How do I get a fraction out of the bottom? You flip it and multiply it. So now our period is 4 pi over 3. And then you just go over here, and then you put 4 pi divided by 3. And then we do our asymptote. And it's the same concept. It's the same concept. All right, so we're going to do blue. It's going to be pi over 2 times, what was that, 3 over 4 was the number in front of x? Yes, 3 over 4. 2 times 3 over 4 is 3 over 2. It's 3 over 2. So now we have 2 over 3, because we're going to flip that at the bottom, times pi. It's going to be 2 pi over 3. Come back here and then put 2 pi, 2, it's lagging. Two pi divided by 3. And then we hit next. And we do the same thing. Remember, reflect, stretch, down or up. So it's the same thing. We're going to reflect, stretch it by 4, down 2. So reflect, stretch it by 4, down 2. And then you just submit your answer and hit yes and hope for the green check mark. All right, guys, that's how you do the first one on your